Uh, Hello everyone, welcome to this session. GDSC Pilani Hyderabad campus and the PM division BPHC collaborated with Whizzcorps for an exciting session on product management. So product management falls in the intersection of UX, tech and business. And to discuss more regarding this domain, we are here with our new session. Mridula Chhetri, the founder of Inmovidu Technologies, will address the session on the above mentioned topics and will share her knowledge and insight on the current industry trends and the standard practices of marketing and product management and how technology is helping in revolutionizing consumer experience on this platforms. And apart from the ongoing business process, which a student could be part of as the part of an outreach event, we want to give a new opportunity to all the students who are part of GDSC Pilani Hyderabad campus and the PM division BPHC. She has more than 12 years of experience working in enterprise such as IBM and startups such as Nestaway and Serapiest. She is an alumni of Kanpur University and has completed her executive program management from Haas School of Business, UC Berkeley. She's a results-driven professional with 12 years of experience in business strategy, strategic management, and project management. So I'll give the session to her, and we can go ahead with the session. Welcome, ma'am, to the session.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Sai. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and having discussion with the students. And I am looking forward to this particular session being really interactive, really collaborative. And what I'm also going to do, guys, here is I will pick up instances from my own life story because I feel people are able to connect with, are able to connect to the story much more than just me coming and talking about some session which partially you will remember and partially you will forget. So I'll try and make it as engaging as possible. And also the reason as to why I did what I did and what have been my learnings from the successes that I don't know what success is honestly, but whatever little success that I have achieved. And also, more importantly, what did I learn from failures and how did that, taking control of that particular failure help me propel further in my career and in my life? And product management essentially is a beautiful amalgamation of all of these three aspects: the success aspect, the failure aspect, and also learning from the life aspect and putting it into perspective, putting it into building a solution which will essentially help you take your particular product further in life. All right. So, like Sai mentioned, very quickly, so I come with 12 plus years of experience, starting from a very small college in Kanpur, under Kanpur University, to moving to, one of these, having the opportunity to study from the number 8 university in the world. I think the journey has been quite exhilarating, has been quite eventful, and has been quite, I would say, has been like a dream come true for me. All right. And one thing is that whether you're a product manager or whether you are in any you're a part of any kind of role, remember the goal that you have and go after it and look at solving the problem that is there for you to solve to ensure that you reach the milestone or you reach your particular goal. So let me move now quickly to the product management part, and let's get started with what is product management. Like Sai covered it in the beginning, that product management is nothing but a beautiful amalgamation of intersection of business, technology, and customer. All right, and I'm also going to quote a couple of real life instances, and of course we'll discuss about other examples that we can think of as a part of our discussion here, and see and try and I wouldn't say emulate, but try and take from them in terms of in terms of what needs to be done, and also try and prevent the pitfall. All right. Now, before I start this, please remember that product lies at the heart of every tech-driven business. Any business which is backed by technology, product lies at the heart of it. And please remember that the entire existence of your product is dependent on just one aspect, and that is your customers. All right. Your technology can be great, your business idea can be great, but if you do not understand your customer properly, if you do not understand what they want, if you do not know, what is really their pain point, all of this will come crashing down. And hence, as a part of your product management role, there are a couple of things that you will really, really need to be careful of, and that you will really need to focus on. But before we move to those slides, essentially, if I have to translate product management into a layman language, it is nothing but translating your business requirements into into engineering developmental piece of work, or business objectives into engineering requirement, or the vice versa. All right. Ola is a beautiful example of converting business objectives into engineering requirement. Building an application which can support millions of riders, millions of rides happening at the same time. I don't think would have been possible had we not had brilliant engineers who were driving that particular piece of thing, and also ensuring that execution is at the prime. I can make a brilliant app, but if I'm not able to execute it, if I'm not able to deliver it, it is not, people are not going to give you second chance. All right. So Ola is a beautiful example, or Ola, Uber, Airbnb, Oyo, you name of a business. They have essentially translated business objectives that they wanted to solve at scale into engineering requirements, or the vice versa. As in the case of AWS, we all know about it. It was created out of a business requirement. The Black Friday sale, and they were left with so much of server space that they didn't know what to do with it. And that is how AWS was born. So you had a technology solution with you, and you created a business opportunity out of it. And so many more examples are there. Google is there, Facebook is there, etc. They all started off as a engineering solution, and later on got translated into business opportunities. We are all seeing that happen. We see that happening all the time. Now, as a product manager, you have to be someone who has a fair bit of understanding of technology. Very, very important, because if you have to work with engineers and you do not understand technology yourself, how will you guide them? How will you? I'm not saying that you have to essentially sit and code, but you definitely have to understand technology in terms of how this particular tech solution can impact my product, and in what ways, and whatever is possible, not possible. All of those understanding is very, very important. But at the same time, you also have to understand the business requirement, the business landscape in which this particular product will be operating. Because if you don't do that, no matter, you may have the best of engineers, but if you are not clear about your business model, business vision, etc., all of those things will fail. And similarly, all of this will make a lot of sense if you understand your customers really well. All right. And how do you do that? I mean, how do I do that in my business? So guys, I run this company called Inmovidu Tech, and Whizzcorps is one of the many product lines that we have under Inmovidu Tech. All right. I'll just tell you one thing, that how understanding your user segment actually, or your customers, essentially helps you build better execution strategy, better marketing strategy, better engineering solutions. All right. How does it help you? So we work with the student community extensively. We work with the corporates. We work with the students, and we have built a platform where the student can come and engage with these companies by working on their projects, and thereby understanding the organization, thereby understanding what the company wants, and and also understand if they want to work with this company, and vice versa for the company also. This is the tech platform that we've built. Now, because we understand our users so well, I'll be happy to tell you that till date we have not spent a single penny on any kind of digital ads. You will never see our ads on Facebook or Google or Instagram, because we don't need to do that. I mean, we understand where our customers are. We understand what they need, when they need, how they need, what device in which they need. And having said that, we've been able to build a really scalable business. With just, when we started, we were just about 30 people. Today, of course, we're expanding, we're growing, and we managed to grow this business from just a couple of hundred students who were a part of our platform to more than 1 million students who are today associated with us. More than 100 plus companies, and it keeps growing on a daily basis, who are associated with us. We are a hardcore B2C company. We don't do college tie-ups. So we have students from more than 4,000 plus engineering colleges who are a part of our platform. And all of this has been done absolutely organically, without using any kind of social media, I would say platforms. Nothing against them, but I'm just saying. So when we are talking about building a solution, guys, when we are talking about building a product, that is the importance of knowing your user, knowing what they want, knowing what is their problem statement, and knowing how do you get to them, when do you get to them, what is the medium that you will get to them. All right. So I thought, if I have to explain the scope of the work that a product manager can do during the course of journey, and I think it's a beautiful role that one should definitely experience once in life. I thought, let me take the highest level of the role that this that the individual here will be managing, and I took the director of product management, who is responsible for handling a portfolio. Now please remember that product managers are essentially called as mini CEOs, and when I explain this to you, you will understand why. All right, first of all, product management is a strategic role. Okay, so you have to have the ability of thinking that right now the business is like this, but what could the business potentially be 6 months down the line, a year down the line, etc., etc. So you have to be absolutely aware of what's happening, not just right now in the industry, but also what are the thought leaders talking about how the industry is going to be impacted in coming years, maybe 2 years, 3 years, and you have to be aware of that, and then ensure that you are plugging yourself at the right time, your product, in terms of building a solution, so that you don't miss out on the opportunity. Guys, please remember, end of the day, we are running a business. All right. College is very different from the real work environment. All right. Real environment, work environment is like getting into a war for any business owner. Ask me, and I will say the same thing. It is like getting into a war without even knowing where the bullet is going to hit you from. It is like that. All right. And in that scenario, you have to have a strategic approach, is something that is very, very, I would say, integral part of product management. Second thing, as a product manager, you will always have to, there'll always be trade-offs. Everything will be urgent at the same time, because remember, you're dealing with business, you're dealing with technology, you're dealing with operations, the customer facing team. All right. Everybody will be telling you, ye kaam abhi karna hai, it is important, it is the need of the hour. Everybody will tell you that same thing. So you should have the maturity and the ability to assess and to be able to prioritize and do a trade-off in terms of, which one should I go forward, which one should I proceed with first, and which one can I stall for now. All of this is based on only one simple thing: that how will this help my business? Will it help me get more users? Will it help me generate better revenues? Will it help me retain my customers? Depending on whatever is the problem statement that is being faced by the organization at that point in time. All right. So based on that, you will have to always do. The resource allocation is going to be a part of your role. And remember, if you do not do your due diligence properly, and the results are not what you had anticipated it to be, the entire ownership of that particular failure will rest on your shoulders. All right. I'm not scaring you, but I'm just preparing you. You're the mini CEO. Remember that part, right? So you should have the maturity. And when I say maturity, how does that come? I will tell you that part also. All right. The pricing strategy is a part of your role. Now, pricing is not always dependent on how much it costs me to make that particular product. All right. It is not that. A lot of times it is also the perceived value. As to what value is my user willing to pay for it based on the urgency. Surge pricing, all of us are pretty familiar with it when we're trying to book Ola, Uber during peak hours. If they ask us to pay double, triple of the normal fare price, we do that. All right. So the pricing strategy has to be driven, and it's unfortunate, but that's how it is, right? So the pricing strategy is something that you will be your responsibility. And how do you get to know what is happening around you? Of course, you have to always be doing your competitive analysis. Never ever think I am the king. मैंने कर लिया achieve. Now nothing can shake me. We've seen the biggest of the companies bite dust because they were not watchful. I don't want to name those companies, but it's really unfortunate that beautiful companies like BlackBerry, who made the most amazing smartphones, or the Nokia phones. I'm sure you should ask your parents; they will tell you. All of us have used the Nokia phone, but today they are nowhere to be found. All right, and there are so many companies. Biggest of the biggest companies also sometimes make that mistake and lose out and have to shut down units and businesses because it does not make business sense at all. Could be, and people will forgive you if there's a minimum. If there's an engineering flaw, they will still forgive you. But if you not deliver what you're committing to, they will not forgive you. All right. And please remember, if there's an opportunity to make money, there'll be 10 more companies who want to do the same thing that you are doing. All right. So the competitive analysis is something that I do all the time. For my own company, I will always be checking who my competitors are. What is the company and financial status? Because the financial status tells you a lot about the power, the money power that the company has. and that can help them build their business, it tells me a lot about it. All right. And but also remember that because somebody else has money and you don't have as much money today does not mean you cannot be successful. WhatsApp is there. We have all known about its history. Google was so big that gone to Yahoo, but today see what happens when you stay true to the course that I have to serve my customers what they are looking for. Success does come to you. Multiple other products, all of them started small and today they are giants. All right. Only because they were always customer obsessed and were wanting to build solutions. So competitive analysis is something that you should always look into, coming back to the point, at the company level and at the financial level. All right. As a director, you're supposed to do that because the financial health of the organization, kitna paisa hai in the company, tells you a lot about the runway. It'll also tell you when you do a company analysis and see what kind of people are working in that company. That also tells you what kind of hirings are they doing. Tells you that what is going to be their future product strategy. Okay, so if I know that they are hiring a lot of AI engineers, then I know that they are going to be working in the space of AI. Doesn't mean that I have to jump into AI. I'm not saying that, but it just gives me a perspective of what could be their direction in terms of where they want to go get to. All right. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this slide because I think understanding this slide is extremely important. And all of the subsequent aspects of product management also gets explained in this particular slide. All right. Now, again, what we've done is we've divided product management into two categories. One is inbound and one is outbound. So inbound would constitute of all the activities that one needs to do extensively until your prototype is built or your MVP is built or your beta version is built. Okay, that's a part of your inbound product management activity. More of technology, more of UI UX, more of research, more of analysis, etc. All of that, understanding your customer, product roadmap, journey, engineering, all of this becomes a part of your inbound product management activity. And the go-to-market strategy, once your product is built and now is the launch plan, becomes a part of your outbound product management activity. All right. Now let's look at the. I feel, personally, I feel, guys, whenever you are looking at even adding a new feature, leave alone building a new product, even if you want to add a new feature, all right, you should do your research part and get those insights very, very thoroughly. Very important that you have to do your customer research and understand that what exactly is the problem or the pain point. You'll be surprised to know that a lot of people do not spend enough time on research and they think it's a waste of time and they don't do it properly, or they'll just do asking leading questions, etc., thereby building a wrong product which nobody needs. Have seen that happen all the time. All right. So understanding what your users want and doing your research part properly, using late data, using analytics, talking to your customers, running surveys, etc., talking to your customers however you want to do it gives you the best insights. Please, I know there are a lot of research papers, etc., use them as a reference but not as a bible. Don't come to us saying, oh, it was quoted in XYZ paper or this was quoted in this XYZ whatever white paper and hence I'm building a business model. I don't know. If that's a great way to look at it, it can be a starting point, but that cannot be the foundation of your customer research. Customer research happens when you talk to them, when you see them, when you observe them, and when you try to sell them the product so that they come and use it. That is your biggest validation, because once they start using your product, you get to know what are the challenges. All right. That's point number one. Point number two, you have to be very clear about your paise kaise aayega. Ultimately, we are talking about business. It is not a college project. ठीक है, कंपनी का रेवेन्यूज पे डिपेंड करता है. ऑलराइट, वेदर इट इज कस्टमर रिटेंशन, हायर एलटीवी, मोर रेवेन्यू. ऑलराइट, वेदर इट इज acquiring more customers, revenue. Whether it is acquiring consumers, like हम और आप, we are consumers on Ola, we are users of Ola application, but we generate revenue for them also, right? So ultimately, with WhatsApp pe you and I are users, we have to use the application, but somebody else is paying, which is businesses like us, which uses WhatsApp for business. We are the customers for it. So always understand that how will this particular thing impact the revenue of my company, directly or indirectly. Very, very clear. Without that, please don't build a product. अच्छा लगेगा, nobody cares about it, honestly. All right? अच्छा लगेगा and somebody is willing to put money on the table, भाई तब मैं अपना time लगाऊंगी. Otherwise, I don't know if I want to do it. By my running a shop, I might as well go, I don't know, start doing something else. All right? Nobody is running a charity, especially when you have to pay people salaries. You have to be very clear about the business case. Remember that part. How will you position your product? That has to be very clear to you. Fourth thing is, building your entire product roadmap, understanding what are my different categories or categories of customers. Not everybody is alike. Na? You guys are from BITS. There'll be some other student who's from probably some different college in Hyderabad, some other college in Hyderabad. So there are hundreds of colleges in Hyderabad. Can I say all engineering students who are studying in Hyderabad are the same? They're not the same. Their circumstances are different. The lot of factors are different. So you have to understand that who are my customer segments that I'm going to be going after. So understanding your customer, your users, segregating them, and then building your product roadmap is also part of your inbound product management. Okay? Then what is it that the market is saying, or what is it that the market is asking? Market जो भी require करता है, you have to work according to it. You cannot say I will build whatever I want to build, however I want to build, when the market is saying something else. Ab COVID time pe, it made a lot of sense for us to launch business because we knew that the entire world is going to go and study and work online. So we knew that that was the right time. So just then hum lockdown, we were following, and I'll tell you in my subsequent slides also that we were following COVID very carefully, and we were thinking that business opportunity aane wala hai. 23rd of March, the entire country went into lockdown and we started our own company. Okay, we'll talk about that also some other day. So the market requirement was there. We had to grab the opportunity and prioritize that over everything. We said, leave everything, this is what we will do. So you have to have that kind of understanding and should be agile enough to quickly grab the opportunity because it doesn't come again and again. But don't build a fly by the night kind of a shop ki aaj hai kal band kar do. Don't build it something like that. But we knew that this is going to be here for at least a year and a half, and people's behavior, habit, etc. will change, and they will all want to study online and do things online. So it made absolute sense for us to launch a product. So you have to have that understanding. Complete product definition. This is where it starts and this is where it ends. वो clarity भी बहुत जरूरी है. Understanding that what will be one thing which people will absolutely love about our product. Okay, that also becomes your competitive advantage, because if I'm building something which my competitor also has, then it will become like a price war. जो भी सस्ता देगा उसके पास you will go. Like happens in Ola and Uber all the time. You will open Ola app, you will open Uber app, you will see wherever you're getting it sasta, you will buy it from there. Never get into that kind of a space. There has to be something which is core, which is something which is absolutely unique about your particular product. Like iPhone, Samsung, Galaxy, etc., Note, etc. All of them have unique differentiation and desirability factor, which is what creates businesses, and customers for them. So you have to look at that aspect. Of course, costing is the most important thing. भाई पैसा लगा रहे हैं. When do I plan to recover and how do I plan to recover? All right. What kind of features? What are the schedule? Deadline is deadline. Okay. So you have to adhere to the deadline. And if you don't understand business and you don't understand operations and you don't understand technology, they will take you for a ride and they'll give you timelines and you will say, "Achha, tumne to bola tha, you will give me in 2 days, but ab to ye 5 din ho gaya, we are late." So you have to have that understanding and build those timelines there and build that buffering. Ki bhai, somebody can fall ill, somebody can quit. All of those things happen all the time, right? So you have to build those buffer also, and the trade-offs. If I am taking this over this, why should I do it? Ask those questions 100 of times and don't be emotional about it. Please don't feel bad. Ultimately, your objective is to ensure that you are able to generate better revenue for the company or drive better business prospect for the company. That is your responsibility. So don't get emotional about it. Don't feel bad about it. All right. It has to be backed by data. It has to be backed by research. It has to be backed by evidences. It cannot be, I feel, my gut says this. No, there's nothing called as gut. Build it on some kind of data which proves. I spoke to 1,000 customers. This is what they had to say. So this takes precedence over this. Then people can't argue with you because you have those data set. Always do that. Okay. UI UX, you should know about it. So the entire workflow you should know. So wo UI UX has to be built, and then that has to be translated into engineering tech stack requirement in terms of how you want to build, what you want to build, what kind of tech stack you want to use, etc., etc. Again, you will do competitive analysis here in terms of product and the market position. Okay? My product versus my competitor's product, what is their market position? Like we saw a beautiful example yesterday, the market position of Big Basket versus, Zepto versus Instamart versus, I think there were Blinkit versus, there were so many of them, Amazon and Flipkart and all of them, they were being compared. And the market share of Big Basket was the biggest or was the largest, 35%, I think, and all of the rest of them were like 1-2%, and I think Amazon was at 15%. So, you have to know where your market position is and how will this particular feature help you strengthen your market position or take it to a better level. Have to have that. build a beta program and launch it with some set of your users. Now that you've done your research, you know where your customers are, you know what they want, you know how they want, you know when they want, you know all of that. Now you start working with the marketing team also. Please remember a couple of things that I will tell you here. The launch plan has to be there. Don't shoot arrows in the dark and hope something will work. कि चलो लो हम Google ad भी कर देते हैं, Facebook ad भी कर देते हैं, brand ambassador भी कर देते हैं, hoardings भी. I see that happening all the time. Everything has to be very strategic in my thought process. All right. So if I'm doing digital ad, what kind of digital ad? When will I run it? What time will my hoardings come up? What time will my radio campaigns come in? What time will my TV ads come? So on and so forth. All of that has to be thought through and has to be. You need to start preparing. And sorry, I'll just go to my previous slide. You need to start preparing while we are at this stage. वो सारा preparation parallelly आपका चल रहा होता है. ठीक है? It's not कि product बन जाएगा तब I will do. No. While your product is getting built, you start building that hype. You saw na XUV 700. What happened? Even before the cars were manufactured, they were sold out for next 2 years. That is called as understanding your users and building a product which everybody is wanting and is willing to wait for 2 years to own that car. That is called as a brilliant strategy. All right. The product launch part, everybody has to talk the same language. Whether it is you, your operations team, your customer care team, your marketing team, your sales team, your tech team, everybody should know कि भाई this is what the product is and this is how it will operate. Create success stories, have brand ambassadors, do your market analysis, just see what your competitors are doing, because the minute you launch your product, your competitors are also observing. They will be waiting for every single cue that you leave there. And the minute you leave, nobody is silly. I mean, they will understand kya karna hai. So they will start working on the same thing as you are. And then you have to look at the competitors in terms of pricing, in terms of promotion. So you may have Ranbir Kapoor, but they may have Ranbir Singh, So you have to look at all of those things and then see at what place and when are you going to be launching that particular product. Okay. All of this is supposed to be handled by the product management team in collaboration with engineering, in collaboration with technology, and in collaboration with operations team, finance team, HR team. Everybody's involved here. And because you're essentially responsible for success or failure of the product, that's why you're called the mini CEO. All right. Now I'll quickly move to the next slide, which is the product journey. All right. Typically, whenever I have to start, guys, I start with, of course, things start off as a gut feel. I mean, and when I say gut feel, it is not the raat ko I suddenly saw a dream and I thought I have to do this. No, it is not based on that. It is based on the data set. It is based on what my customers are saying. It is based on what my team members are saying. I'm constantly hearing things and I'm also reading. I'm also observing. All right. That is when I'm able to connect all of this and say, hey, you know what? We need to build this particular product because this is what people need right now. And these are things that they need sometime down the line. We start with it. All right. So every product journey, the most important thing is to set the vision. What do I want to achieve by building this product? If you're not clear about the vision, please do not bother building it because you will just be confusing everyone there. All right. So defining the vision is very, very important. For example, our vision is very clear. Our vision is whoever comes to our platform should be able to make money. It may sound very capitalist kind of a statement, but so be it. So hamare platform pe, if the student is coming, the learning has to be such, the projects have to be such that they learn something and they're able to go and work in some company and make money. The mentors who are coming on our platform are able to make money. The companies who are coming on our platform are able to save money, thereby essentially making money. Saving money is also making money. All right. So hamara vision bahut clear hai. So every activity that we do is done with that same intent that whoever my user is, customer is, they should be able to make money. All right. So that's how we do it. Now, so define the vision. What is your vision? Okay. Second is, who is my target market? It sounds, I'm sure you have heard this thing all the time, but sunne mein and execute karne mein bada farak hota hai. So you have to identify your target market. Like for us, because we work with engineering students, so my target market are engineering students. Now, in engineering students, again, I have to see what kind of projects can be done remotely. Not every project can be done. A hardware-related project, I can't do it remotely. All right. The mining mein thoda sa bhi galti ho gaya, Arduino board goes for a toss. It is an expensive board. So I know the kind of projects that I can do online versus offline, and hence I take up those projects only. So I narrow it down till the time that I feel okay. These are my users. अब इनके साथ मुझे काम करना है. Alright, so target market हमारा decide हो गया that amongst all the 38,000 colleges, right now we are focusing only on engineering colleges. So 6,500 engineering colleges है, उनमें से हमने बहुत सारे drop करते हैं because they don't come under our target market, and we said okay, these are 4,000, I think 350 colleges that we have students from. This is who my target market is. Now in that identify my target persona. अब engineering college में first, second, third, fourth year students रहते हैं. Who should I target? Initially, of course, it was, we targeted everyone beginning when we started this company. But then gradually, when we started working, then we started realizing the problem faced by each year of engineering students were very different and very unique. All right. And hence, that's how the product improvisation started happening. All right. So you have to identify the target persona. Now, again, ये मैं नहीं कह सकती कि all first year computer science students are going to have the same problem. No, it could vary. I mean, I'm telling you, there are 200 plus engineering colleges in Hyderabad. Do you think सारे college students का same problem है? No, they are very different, and I know that because we work with them day in and day out. So what is my target persona? So colleges of this kind will have this problem, this kind will have this problem, blah blah blah. All of that is chalked out. It has taken us so many years to build it. It's not happened overnight, but we kept talking to them. And we still talk to them. All right. So you have to identify your target persona. Same thing, guys. When I was heading business for Nestaway, and that's why I tell you, don't think that because you don't have a lot of money, hence you'll never be able to make a big company, or somebody else has more money than you, hence they will make a big company. No. My founder, Amar was so clear. Amar, Jitendra, Deepak, and Smruti at that point in time, they were so clear about solving this problem for the housing problem for bachelors in India. They were very, very clear about it. All right, so they had defined their vision very carefully. They knew where their target market was. They knew who their target personas were. And of course, we didn't get there on day one. It took us a lot of iterations, a lot of hard work, a lot of, research to get there. So I've seen that happen at Nestaway. Same, I would say, things I applied here in my own business also. And it really, really helps. I've done the same thing at IBM also. You have to keep this kind of a mindset when you're building it. Now let's come to the roadmap part or the vision part. What we have done is we've divided it into three parts: at the company level, at the product level, and at the engineering level. All right. Now, at the product level, at the company level, you have to always ask, why am I building this product? What am I, what is my mission? Why should I build this product? Is it because people want it? Is it because, nobody else is building? What is the reason for me to build this product is something that, and these are hard-hitting questions, but you have to ask them so that you do not waste your company's money and resources into building something which nobody needs. Google Plus, we saw brilliant product, but slightly late because we already had Facebook. All right. So, why are we building a product is something which has to be very clear. What is the mission? What do we as a company stand for in terms of value? And it has to align to that value of that company. All right. What is the story that is behind building this particular solution? I told you in the beginning, guys, that I come from a very small tier 2 college in Kanpur with absolutely no hopes of ever, getting any far in my life. Honestly, I was absolutely confused as hell. मुझे क्या करना है? While I was in my first year, second year, I thought चलो masters कर लेंगे तो मेरी life set हो जाएगी. All those kind of things, and I realized कि life set होने के लिए काम करना पड़ता है. पढ़ाई तो जरूरी है, but and I wanted to get from a very normal college. I wanted to get to world, number. Of course, Harvard, Yale, etc. was out of question. I didn't even try, but I knew that if not Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and NCAD, then which was the next best college, and that's UC Berkeley, and that's where I wanted to go study. So that entire story that people can relate to is also something that you have to tell them, that why did I start this company? Because I truly believe that education, the right kind of education, is a great way to help people get to the next place or the next level that they want to, provided that they're willing to work hard. So the story part is very, very important as to why you want to build this product. All right. And most importantly, who my users are going to be. So I believe a lot of people like me who have big dreams and are looking for the right kind of guidance opportunity would be the right people for a solution like what we are trying to build here. Now, next is the product part. चलो ठीक है, ये तो हो गया हमारा vision, story, mission, value, etc. अब आते हैं कि बनाएंगे क्या? What will we build? ठीक है, I want to help empower millions of students here in India get their dream jobs by helping them work on the right kind of projects and gaining the right kind of skills. That is my dream. Okay, awesome, great dream. Millions of students, that's a lot of number. That's a big number. We've already worked with more than 150,000 students, and we want to grow that number. All right, so now what do I need for doing that? Excel sheet में तो काम होगा नहीं, website से तो काम होगा नहीं, right? Okay, that's the first step, but that cannot be the only thing that will help you get there. So what product are we building in terms of requirement, in terms of feature set, in terms of design? How will I market that particular product? I have to acquire customers. So what will be my sales strategy? Entire roadmap building is a part of what are we building. All right. And the last part is the engineering. अब मैंने सोच लिया मुझे क्या बनाना है. So I have multiple aspects to my business. सबके लिए सोच लिया मुझे क्या बनाना है in terms of engineering tech stack and how do I connect all of that. So then I work with my tech team that how will we build this product? Front end कैसा होगा, back end कैसा होगा, architecture कैसा होगा, how will I manage the data, how will the security happen, how will the data flow from, because there are multiple aspects to my business. How will all of this be integrated? Not an easy solution to build, cannot be built in day one. I have to build 10 solutions. Can I build all 10 of them together? No, I cannot, because there'll be iterations, etc. Then I have to prioritize. Remember the prioritization part? So then we start prioritizing and we start putting things, but at the same time, we've built the entire architecture in terms of what we need, when we need, how we need, and so that we start building it. So this is your brief on the roadmap. I'll keep a quick check on time. Okay, let's come to the vision board. Here again, when we're talking about the vision board, you have to be very clear about what is the purpose for you to create this product. All right, and you have to be very, please, when you're building a product, talk like big Jnani Guru, no problems at all. You have to think that what is the positive change that my product will bring in the lives of my users. Yeah, and be absolutely brash about it, no problems. I say that I say that, people who will use my platform, and if they sincerely work hard and they genuinely work hard, they will get a job. And I want to bring that positive change in the lives of the students who are looking for those opportunities. All right, so that is my vision and that is what I dream of. And every single employee in our company thinks of the same thing. And if they're not able to think of the same thing, then I'm sorry, you're probably not in the right place. All right. Next is, of course, the target group, which we have already spoken about. The needs part. What problem is my product solving for my user? And what is the benefit that it is offering to them? You have to be clear about that. When we're talking about at the product level, we have to understand, is it going to be a web app? Is it going to be a mobile app? Is it going to be a SaaS product? What kind of product is it going to be? All right, is it going to be a tablet? What is it? All right, and what will make it stand out? And is it feasible to develop something like this? Guys, I wanted to also tell you at this stage that I thought of Inmovidu, an online education platform, way back in 2012. But was it feasible for me to develop this platform in 2012? And I will tell you, no. The internet was just picking up. People didn't have smartphones the way they have it today. They did not have personal computers. All right, PCs were not there. Okay, online payment gateways were not there. The only way that you could pay was using either a credit card or a debit card. आज आपके पास UPI payment है, Google Pay है, Phone Pay है. There are so many ways in which you can pay without even having a credit card. But during back then, it was not possible. People were very apprehensive about transacting online. So was it feasible for me to build my product then? Absolutely not. That was not the right time. Now was the right time. So I waited for 8 years, and when the time was right, I decided to launch it. All right. So the feasibility part is also very, very important. Until then, I was learning how to run a business. I went to college. I finished whatever I had because I had that dream of going to a college. I finished that. I worked with Nestle for 2.5 years from a very early stage, till the stage where I was 2.5 years. Till the time that we raised an investment of almost about $60 million. So I have been a part of that growth journey and know what it takes to grow a company. All right. And so I utilize that time to learn the skills so that when I launch my business, I'm able to, survive. Success, bahut dur ki baat. And then the business goals part, guys. Ultimately, I'm running a business. If I have 100 people, I have to pay salaries to 100 people, come what may. So how is this particular product going to benefit my company is something that I have to be clear about. And the business goals, again, have to be very, very clear to you. More users, LTV, retention, whatever. You can build those good business goals and work accordingly. Okay. Now let's quickly move to the next slide, which is the customer persona. All right. When we're talking about customer persona, I will discuss about it in more detail. Just look at this person very carefully. So we'll be discussing about the role that this customer has, the challenges that this customer is facing, the kind of goal that this customer has, and how your product is going to help him achieve that goal. What will motivate him to buy your product? And what could be the buying concern for this particular person? Because if there's a buying concern, that will prohibit this person from using your product. Thereby, you will lose out on a business opportunity. So how do you overcome that? And I will explain it to you with the help of my product. What industry is he or she coming from? All right. And, the company type also, we have put it here. Okay. Now, moving on to the next slide, user persona is basically, what should I say? It is a process in which you as a product person are able to understand and put yourself in the shoes of your user and say, if I were in his or her place, what are the challenges that my user is typically facing, and how can I help how will my product help this person overcome those challenges and achieve the goal that they have. All right. Now, this is how I typically will look at a user persona. I talk to hundreds of people, guys. When I launched Whizzcorps, I wanted to understand things firsthand. Akash, my team member, is also here. We all started this Whizzcorp product together. And I can tell you that we saw a lot of, I would say, positive resonance, a positive, affinity for our product that we built here. And so I see for my other, product lines also. All right. So bringing it and so it happened because I was talking to my users all the time. I built a very basic MVP with my tech people, very basic MVP, and we just launched it. We just wanted to see, and the more users used it, they loved our product because there was nothing else that was offering them what we were offering them, and and gradually over a period of time we improved it. So the demographics part, very important for you to know. We keep hearing it all the time: gender, age. Please remember, place of residence does make a lot of difference. Okay, and I learned it the hard way. The way people here in Bangalore will think, maybe that's how people in Hyderabad will also think, but that may not be the same challenge that people in Delhi might be facing, or the challenges people in Mumbai might be facing. Right. So the place of residence does make a lot of difference. All right. Profession, if they are working professionals, if they're married, unmarried, what is their financial status? All of these things really matters when you're building your customer persona, because buying motivation and buying challenges are two things that you have to look at. And goals and the challenges that they're facing, again, are really dependent on these factors. Personality, because I work with student community all the time, I'm very careful about what their hobbies are. PUBG was a big thing back then until it got banned. I think there was some other game that I used to see my team members playing all the time on their phones. I don't know what was that game. I forget it. Call of Duty, Call of Action, something like that. I used to see them playing all the time. All right. What are their favorite brands? Does make a lot of sense. Do they follow any kind of trends? Because I would want to be a part of that trend as well. What is their media consumption habit? What time do they log into media? How many hours do they spend online? What are the kind of gadgets that they are using? Because if I'm building any kind of application, it has to be mobile rendered. I didn't realize it until my team members highlighted that time हमारे तो सारे students आपका जो भी link है website का वो तो सारा मोबाइल पे देखते हैं, वो तो डेस्कटॉप पे देखती नहीं है because they don't open their desktop. So I have to start thinking of designs which would make more sense if people would open it on their mobile phones. Very important, guys. What time of the day should my team speak to them? ऐसा थोड़ी दिन के 2 बजे उठा करके we will call them and we'll tell them no, they're in college. So you have to know when are they available. So you have to know all of these things, all right? And then the relationship with the product. Have they? I mean, are they even aware of the problem? Have they got any kind of previous knowledge about this product? Because first is the awareness building part, all right? And like हमारे केस में internships से projects है, हर किसी को पता है. They all know that internship and projects बहुत जरूरी है करना. Okay, but how are they doing that? Does everybody get internship? The kind of internships that they should be getting, do they have that? All right, most of them are using it because for the heck of it, college ने कहा है grades मिलते हैं, so let me just do it. All right, but do they understand that why is the college forcing you to take up internship? It's because you will gain practical experience that will help you become employable. It is not because the grade. अगर वो grade का डर, if they don't put it in your mind, you will never do internship. You will go and chill for 2 months at your uncle, aunt's, nanny's place and say, छोड़ो यार कौन पढ़ेगा? I will do my job and I have to do. All right. So, so in what context are they using the product is also something that you have to understand. And what is their motivation? Because that will determine how you have to position to them. If I'm going to do things because her college mein, in your class also there'll be 4 kind of people. One you will call Enthu Cutlet, who are those people who will proactively do everything, on time, submit their assignment, etc. Unka motivation alag hai. If I have to say, no, just do it because you'll get good grades, they're not going to take my product. On the other hand, there are backbenchers जिनको कोई मतलब नहीं है. They're just there because कहा है तो पढ़ लेते हैं types, so they go there and they study. उनका motivation क्या है कि भाई ये कर ले, you will get some good grades. Alright, उनको मैं बोलूँ नहीं, you will get a job and all, maybe that will not work. So you have to understand that what is the motivation for them to use your product, because that's how you have to position it to them. Alright, so understanding, having an understanding is very, very important. I have described this user journey in a little briefly. The goals hai, what is the goal? Basically, what is my ideal customer wanting to accomplish, achieve, that my product can help them with. Okay, in my case, students are doing projects because they want to get internship, they want to get a good job, they want to get good grades, or they're just doing it because everybody is doing it. I have all kinds of students. Okay, so I have to very clearly understand what is it that my ideal customer wants to accomplish. Okay, now the challenge part, that what is the problem that my ideal customer is facing with the currently existing solutions that my product alone can solve it. Okay, so we have a lot of our, I wouldn't say competitors, but a lot of great players, our seniors, I would say, like Intern, Chala, Let's Intern, etc., who are offering internship solution. But what is the challenge that they are facing? We know it because we have used it, all right, both as a student as well as an employee. All right, so we know the challenges part, and I know how my product can exactly solve it. All right, the third part is the buying motivation. Chalo, ab sab theek hai, samajh mein aa gaya. What are the challenges? I built a product. What will make that person buy my product? Yeah, why will they come and use my platform over their platform if I'm not offering something which is significantly better or different than what they're offering? So maybe they offer them a lot of different kind of internships, and I offer them the kind of projects which can help them apply for internship on internshala and get that job. All right, so what could motivate my user to come and use my product first and then use the subsequent product? All right, so what would be the biggest motivation for them to buy? Remember, I told you they could be wanting good grades, they could be wanting jobs. There could be multiple reasons. So you have to identify and propose the right reason to the right problem. Okay, remember that part. Then the buying concern. अब हमारे केस में सबसे बड़ा buying concern क्या है? I'm sure your parents would also be saying the same thing. In my case, the parents feel, भाई हमने तो आपको engineering के लिए भेज दिया. You're all pursuing engineering. Why should I give you more money to learn something new? Your college is going to teach you. I'm already paying so much money in your college. Why should I give you money? My biggest buying concern are the parents. They will, and fairly so, rightly so, because they are paying a lot of money for college fees. Why will they want to spend additional money? But they don't realize that, you know, college education can empower you to a certain level, but beyond that, you have to, this is an investment that you have to do on yourself to learn things that your college cannot offer to you. All right, so that's an add-on to what the college is already teaching, and you know, and making it stronger. So parents don't understand it, so our concern becomes the parent there. All right, till the time you're below K12 तक क्या है, K1 to K12 Byju's and all, parents will spend money. Why? Because they know कि यार शायद Byju's के app पे if they learn, they will probably get into IIT, whatever. So they will spend lakhs of rupees on that particular thing. Or after you have graduated and joined a job, now you're earning your own money, like upgrad, simply learn, so on and so forth. You will spend money because you know कि यार ये मेरा पैसा है और मुझे पता है कि मुझे next promotion के लिए what do I need? I know that part. Alright, so I need to have this skill, so hence I will pay money. Alright, but जो K12 to K16 is the segment that we work with, यहाँ पे neither are they old enough to demand money, nor are they young enough not to take action. So that becomes the buying concern. Now, what is the similar product that is already existing that my user may be aware of, and how will they come to my product instead of that is also something that I have to always deal with. And then now comes the buyer journey. The first part is the awareness part. सबसे पहले तुमको पता होना चाहिए कि if I don't do this, if I do not deal with these challenges, what will be the consequences? That is the awareness part that we have to do, which we do very beautifully. Second is the consideration. Now I know कि भाई मैंने right time पे internship नहीं किया, तो पक्का मुझे पता है fourth year में I will struggle to get my placement. Alright? So they know the outcome, they know the consequences. Now they start considering कि चलो ठीक है, I know that these are going to be the consequences. Now let me start working hard and let me start giving serious in life. That is the consideration time. Now they're thinking they're going to start looking for opportunities. Where will they go? You have to be there, no? Before them. If you're running a business, remember. So the consideration part, and the last is decision part. अब मुझे पता है मेरे पास ये चार ऑप्शन है because nobody will just go and pay you. ठीक है, even if you have to buy a pair of shoe, you will go to Myntra, you will go to that जो भी company मान लो Puma का shoes है, you'll go to the Puma का site, you will go to Amazon site, and you'll go to Puma का store physically. तो see कि भाई where is it that I'm getting the best deal? That is where I will go buy. Same thing our customers will also do. So how do you ensure that you're telling them the right thing, that they buy your product is something that you have to also look at. So this is a part of your user journey. Guys, now I will want to discuss about this particular thing. See, as product people, all right, remember one thing. I know slightly hazy slide. I'll just try to see if it can be zoomed. I don't know if it can. I cannot zoom it here. But I feel this is a business model canvas. All right. Now we hear about business model canvas. We hear about solutions, etc. Remember, business does not operate in silo. It does not operate in vacuum. All right. It is what should I say? You are being bombarded with lot of different things at the same time, which makes it, I wouldn't say impossible, but it makes it slightly challenging to operate the business the way you want to do it. Like we saw that happening during COVID time. A lot of businesses took a huge hit, especially the restaurant business. You know that part. The first time the COVID hit, a lot of restaurants shut down. All right. But during the second wave, if you see, last year Zomato also went IPO. All right. So the people who are forever watching what is happening are the ones who will be able to. I'm not saying always be able to be successful, but they will be able to survive a lot of crises because they're aware. So I want you to sort of understand this particular thing also, which is the business model environment, and I will probably have another session on this some other time. But let me very quickly tell you that there are four kind of things which I feel uh, businesses are impacted by. One is your industry forces. It could be your competitors. It could be new entrants. It could be alternative substitutes to the services that you're offering. It could be existing competitor. All right. It could also be your stakeholders, like in case of Ola, Uber, your taxi association, your auto association, your lobbyists, your policymakers, the government, all of them are the stakeholders. If they feel that you as a business owner are misusing a system, they can build in checks and controls. All right, remember that part. Hotel Association went up against Oyo in Punjab. You remember? I don't know if you guys remember it. Maybe you guys are pretty young. You probably would not remember, but that made it very difficult for Oyo to operate in certain regions because they felt that Oyo was being unfair to them. All right. So stakeholders management is very important, and then your suppliers and other value chain actors that are important for your business. Now, in case of Oyo, your workers, your staff, your hotels, your homestays, if that is there on your platform, are your suppliers. If they are not on your side, डिमांड चाहे जितना हो आपके पास होटल ही नहीं तो आप क्या करोगे this the demand is going to be unhappy. So you always have to take care of all of these aspects. For us also it is always there. All right, there will always be competitors, there are existing players, there are stakeholders that we have to manage, and of course the suppliers here, etc. We have to always ensure that we are engaging with them, understanding the challenges, etc., and ensuring that we are aligned to, or they are aligned to our vision in terms of what we want to achieve. क्योंकि जहां पे भी there's a misalignment, business will collapse or it will suffer. Even if it doesn't collapse is too strong a word, but it will suffer for some time. Don't allow that to happen. So please understand, you have to manage this. Second thing are the key trends. You have to always keep a watch on what your regulatory bodies are saying. We have seen businesses like TikTok being shut down here in India because they were not complying with the data privacy regulation. It was a simple thing that all Indian consumer data has to be stored in India. Plain and simple. Okay, if you're not complying with it, I'm sorry, you will not be allowed to do your business here. We saw a lot of applications which were really big shut down their operations in India. That's the kind of strong, I would say, stand the regulatory bodies can take, or demonetization that happened. I'm sure you all are aware of it. All right. So your regulatory bodies, see, if you see a lot of these big giants, tech giants, keep getting slapped with huge fines and penalties because they're not complying with their regulatory bodies. What is the technology trend looking like? Very important, especially when we are building a tech product. If you're thinking about Web 1.0, when we are migrating and moving towards Web 3.0, what's the point? So you have to look at what my technology trend is doing. I'm not saying you have to jump the ship and be on that same thing, no. But you should understand that which way is technology heading, and is my business going to be able to adjust to it, align to it, and ensure that we don't miss out on opportunity. Plain and simple. Okay. The societal and cultural trends, again, very important. How is your society thinking? How are they evolving? What is their take? If you look at our cases, maybe you guys never had to face it, all right? But I come from a generation where women being independent was not considered as something very cool. Women were expected to be at home, look after their family, kids, etc., and manage the household. Is the kind of generation that I come from. All right. But your generation, probably there has been a huge shift. I myself have a daughter and I want her to be independent, and she is independent. She's working. All right. So there has been a huge societal and cultural trend. And unlike my parents who were always obsessed with my marriage and me getting married, I'm not obsessed with my daughter's marriage. I'm more obsessed about her growth, pursuing her career, etc. So there is a societal and cultural trend. So which means I will invest money on my daughter's education, whatever. So you have to see that what is the societal and cultural trend. The fourth part is your social economics trend. How is your are people more willing to invest money on things or spend money on things? That is also something that you have to look at. Because if I'm not looking at all of those aspects, and building businesses where I'm expecting people to spend a lot of money and people are not willing to spend that kind of money, I think I'm setting up myself for failures. All right. So you have to look at these things. And then as your market forces, of course, have to understand your market segment. You have to understand what my needs are going to be. Based on all of these parameters, you should be smart enough to know that what could be the potential needs emerge because of all of these changes. See what happened when TikTok got banned. There were so many other platforms which suddenly became very big, which were like TikTok. All right, so they knew that ye ban hoga, there'll be sudden need for people, because they want to be on platforms. So let me just, make hay while the sun shines. They were observing it. So suddenly you saw that particular aspect come in there. Suddenly when COVID happened, everybody had to go online. So suddenly the need and demand for online video conferencing platform emerged, and Zoom was there. All right, so today all of us use Zoom. Of course we're using YouTube live here, but I'm just saying, so majority of us started using Zoom. So Zoom was smart enough to do that. There were so many issues that were being highlighted by regulatory bodies saying it's not safe, blah blah blah, but what happened? We're all using it. All right. So the market issues, you have to be very clear about that. Uh, Also, you have to remember that what could be the switching cost. If I have to use Zoom versus a Google Hangout versus a Blue Jeans versus a Microsoft Team versus a WebEx, which one will I use and why? The switching cost. Remember that part. Because if platform similar services, if they're offering, the cost becomes one of the major drivers for you to use or not use. All right. And then ultimately, the thing is that what will make it more attractive in terms of revenue? Market forces. Ultimately, search pricing is one aspect of market attractiveness because the need for everybody to use a cab during peak hour is there. So, I'm going to make more money. There's more opportunity for me to make money. So, I'll do the search pricing and people will pay because they have to get back home. So, you have to look at those things. And last but not the least is your macroeconomic forces at a global level, because now we're talking about connected world. We're all living in a connected, all of the economies are interlinked with each other. All right. You cannot just say, hey, whatever happens in Sri Lanka, there's going to be no impact on me, or whatever happens in Ukraine, I'm not bothered. No, it doesn't happen like that. We've seen the fuel prices, we've seen the oil prices, our household things, the prices go up because there was a lot of import and export that was happening. All right. So wherever there had to be import, of course, if there's no import happening, the prices are going to go up. I mean, we have seen during COVID what has happened. आपके spare parts नहीं आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, आपके port पे your ships are stalled because of the fact that there's a prohibition on a movement of goods and people because people wanted to contain COVID. So what happens? आपका खड़ा है harbor पे तो क्या होगा? Prices उसका price रहेगा. अब price रहेगा तो फिर क्या होगा? Somebody has to pay. Who will pay? You and I will pay for it. Na? So you have to look at all of those things also. So what is the global market condition? Is it in a boom stage or is it in a recession stage? That will define what kind of opportunity might get created for you. The economic infrastructure of that country. For me, if I want to launch my business in Sri Lanka right now, not a great idea. If I want to do it in Ukraine, not a great idea. For that matter, not even in Russia. All right. So, so you have to look at that particular thing aspect also. Capital market. If I'm looking at running a business and I need capital, whether I raise it from bank or venture capitalist or whoever, friends and family, what is it that I am expected to pay in lieu of getting that capital is also something that you have to look at. All right. And then, of course, for your businesses, if there are commodities and other resources that are required for you to run business, like, for example, in my case, there are so many people, there are power outages. Because if there are power outages, I need to use diesel. If I need to use diesel, I incur additional cost. All right. Now, of course, if the diesel prices go up, my cost of operation also goes up. All right. So, you have to look at all of those things also and see how will it impact your business. Now, with this, I come to the end of my presentation. I think we can stop sharing the presentation, Sai, and I am open to all to questions. I know it is 7 o'clock. I know it's pretty late, but if anybody has any questions, I am happy to answer them.
There is a question, ma'am. I'll add it to the stream. You can see it.
The digital marketing strategies.
Yes, ma'am. The question is, can you tell me about digital marketing strategies?
Yeah, I mean, um, it is too huge a topic again, but again, your digital marketing strategy would depend on a couple of things: who your users are. Of course, that's point number one. I don't do that extensively myself, guys. My other team member does it. But whatever limited knowledge I have with respect to digital marketing, of course, your users, who your users are, what do they want, on which platform are they available, and how are they searching. The keyword part are things that we focus on, and the various combination in which I can use the keyword based on how my users might be searching for my product are the strategies that we typically deploy and implement here. And of course, influencer marketing is also something that one can look at increasing your, what do you say, your user base, your lead base, if you want. Those are also things that you can look at. But essentially, because I have never personally invested a lot of money and effort on digital marketing, I may not be the right person to answer that question. But having said that, I mean, if you were to ask me if I'm supposed to do a digital marketing campaign, which I will start doing now, there are a couple of things that I will look at. One is, of course, what kind of devices are they available on? What kind of platforms are they using? When are they using it? When will my product be important for them, as in terms of the usability part? And what kind of keywords will they use for searching about my product? Are things that I will implement as a part of my strategy, combined with, of course, my on-ground marketing strategies also. Like I have my teams here who will promote my product, so I will leverage on them. So this is how essentially I will tell my digital marketing team, and of course they will allocate budgets, use different systems, use different kind of creatives. For Instagram there'll be different kind of creative. For Facebook there'll be different kind of creative. For your Google, of course, we'll bid on the keyword, and that is how we will. That is how we typically used to generate our lead bit, or the your I mean lead bit. Of course, if you're looking at creating a brand, then different strategy you would use. But if you're looking at essentially retargeting, then of course you have to build your cookies, and you track your users until they come and take the action that they need to take.
So I think that was the only question that we had during the session. By the way, I would like to thank you a lot, ma'am, for that informative session. That was very informative. For someone like me who had no initial introduction to product management and the business domain, it was very informative for me to know about a lot of stuff.
Thank you, sir. I'm hoping other students also found it useful.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing, guys. It's all about common sense. I mean, you just have to use your common sense and logic, and a lot of things will actually uh, happen automatically. I feel personally. So, I mean, I'm not some genius or somebody like that. You guys are much smarter than I am, but I only use my common sense, and I always think, okay, how will this help my user, and what is it that will really matter to him or her? And guys, remember one thing: nobody wants a complicated solution. Everybody wants a very simple solution. See, always remember, WhatsApp is such a huge success. If I tell you today, guys, uninstall which all applications can you uninstall, and which is the application that you will not uninstall, trust me, 99% of us will say that it is WhatsApp. It is so simple to use. The way it started on day one, I still see it in terms of the user experience and user flow. It is so simple that even your grandparents can use it. All right. So when you are building a product and you want people to use it at scale, build something which is very simple, and build something which will solve their problem. Okay. Nobody cares about your problem, honestly. Okay. And how people perceive your product versus how you have perceived it, you'll be surprised to know that people will find different use cases for your own product. And I say this with experience, whether it was at Nestle or whether it is with my current product also. All right. So and tech, of course, you have to please study tech. My humble request: you have to be great at UI UX. You should know basic wireframing, and you should understand technology and business and operations. That's when you can become great product person. All right.
Yeah, ma'am. So I think that's with the session. So I'll be ending the broadcast. Before that, I want everyone to know that there's a banner that has been tickering from the start. So please go and follow Bobble.ai's LinkedIn page, which is tickering down on the bottom. And more information regarding live projects that we have been discussing will be shared through all the Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups. So initially, please do follow the Bobble.ai LinkedIn page, and all the live projects will be posted there. And more information regarding live projects will be intimated through Shoutbox or FEG and WhatsApp groups. Thank you, guys. I'm in industry.